Shri Ahmed Ganai, our chief guest this afternoon, Shri B.R. Sharma, students of SSM, distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, and Amar Singh Club have joined hands to hold this 15th Satpal Sahni Memorial Lecture in Srinagar. Sati Sahni was deeply rooted in Kashmir, and I will tell you how. His father, Diwan Chamanlal, shifted to Srinagar from Rawalpindi in 1916. Satiji was born in Rawalpindi. There is conflict whether he is born in Rawalpindi in 1916 or he was born in Srinagar, but they would go for winter break to Rawalpindi. While his father was here, he was born in Rawalpindi and studied for a while in Rawalpindi, and then he studied in Srinagar at the mission school Sheikh Bagh, where Tyndall Biscoe was still the principal. He later studied at SP College and completed his graduation from SP College, Srinagar. His entire career also revolved around Kashmir as a political activist, as a journalist, and later as Director General of Information of Jammu and Kashmir. It's only befitting that we have assembled here today to pay tribute to this doyen of journalism of Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you IAPA for perpetuating the memory of Shri Sahni, who served as an inspiration for all of us. He was one of the founder members of IAPA and remained associated with it till his passing away on October 18, 2010 at New Delhi. His wife, Shrimati Prem Sahni, who was a regular attendee of the programs and memorial lectures, also left us a few years back. We sadly miss the presence of this gracious couple today here. I am glad that their son Navneet Sahni, his wife and their daughter Malti Gaikwad, they are here amongst the guests today. It must be a feeling of homecoming to you all three. Thank you very much for being part of this. Please give them a big hand. His soul is Sati Sahni must be mighty pleased today to see that this program is being organized at the picturesque Amar Singh Club, of which he was a member. I have just to check from Nasir Khan that he acted even as secretary for some time, but that is subject to confirmation.
1957-58.
So he was secretary of Amar Singh Club from 1957 to 58. That would be news for most of you. It is an interesting story how he got membership of the club. Amar Singh Club की membership उस time महाराजा साहब खुद देते थे. तो ये मैं देखिए ऊपर महाराजा हरि सिंह साहब, he was the patron and he would interview people for getting into Amar Singh Club. Now Mahara, he went for interview. His father was a businessman and he was a good Darbari. Because he was Darbari, so he had influence in Darbar, and therefore he had put in a word, but he had association with Sheikh Sahab. So therefore Maharaja asked him, what is your interest? Why do you want to join this club? So Sati Sahni said, you see, I love to play tennis. The other clubs, they don't allow Indians to play. Only the Britishers can play tennis there. So if you allow me to be a member here, I can play tennis. Then very soon Maharaja asked the second question, and that was very serious question. Have you given up politics? तो अब ये फंस गए क्योंकि ये शेख साहब के साथ थे. तो अब इन्होंने जल्दी से सोचा. And his answer was, no, I have not given up politics, but I am not part of any political party. Maharaja Sahab ne haan keh di, and he became a member of this club. And then, of course, he said he was a secretary also. I have another story of Sati Sahni's interesting experience in Kashmir in particular. And that is that when Mahatma Gandhi came to Srinagar, He came, he said Mahatma Gandhi insisted that he would come before independence to Jammu and Kashmir. And he came to Kashmir. He came on 1st August 1947 and he came via Kohala. So वो Kohala से आया and he stayed here till 4th of August 1947 and after that he travelled towards Jammu and then on. Now Gandhiji was accompanied by his secretary Pyarelal and two nieces. You all know that his secretary was Pyarelal. He stayed at a businessman and Congress affiliate Seth Kishori Lal's sprawling rented bungalow at Barzulla. तो शेख वो जो गांधी जी थे वो न तो शेख साहब जेल में थे और महाराजा साहब के साथ नहीं रहना चाहते थे वो. सो उन्होंने जो वो सेठ साहब थे सेठ किशोरी लाल उनका किराए का बड़ा मकान था उसमें बरजुल्ला में वो रहे 4 दिन. And Pyarelal was unfamiliar with the local dignitaries. Therefore, Kishori Lal requested Sati Sahni to be the secretary of Mahatma Gandhi. So for those 4 days, Sati Sahni acted as secretary to Mahatma Gandhi. And now what is important is he saw Gandhiji from close quarters and his impressions about Mahatma Gandhi, I would sum up in 2-3 lines. उन्होंने बहुत लिखा है, लेकिन मैं 2-3 लाइनों में आपको बताऊंगा उन्होंने क्या कहा. So he said, I quote, whenever he rested his hands on my shoulders or I handed him something, his physical touch sent an electrifying effect. His skin glowed like polished marble. It was smooth, shiny, and wrinkleless. He had the capacity to get down to the level of the person sitting opposite him. So this is Sati Sahni's impression about Mahatma Gandhi during those few days that he stayed with Mahatma Gandhi as his secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, let me come back to Shri Sati Sahni as a journalist. Many of you are journalists here, some would be students of journalism. He started his career in 1948 as the correspondent of Times of India in Srinagar. Sahni was also an ace photographer and a good writer. In a career spanning over 6 decades, he had combined high professionalism with deep integrity. He held the rare distinction of covering 4 major wars: 1948, 1962, 1965 and 1971. So he was a war correspondent also and he covered all these 4 wars. He also attained distinction as one of the best photojournalists in the country. And his rich collection of photographs would be envy of any top person in the profession of photojournalism. His rare collection of photographs included those of leading figures in the country and prominent visitors to Kashmir, beauty spots, cultural, religious and historic places of Kashmir, Ladakh, Jammu and several other places in the country. Sati Sahni was the author of a number of books and his publications include Kashmir Underground, My Dismissal. His collection of rare photographs, it was titled Nehru's Kashmir. It was published after his passing away in 2011. He passed away in 2010 and then maybe his children, they put together some effort and they published this book in 2011. He was also associated with sports, social and cultural activities and was a leading light of the Rotary International in Jammu and Kashmir. So much one person acquiring in one lifetime, that is tribute to the man, Shri Sati Sahni. Let us give him a hand. Mr. Sahni joined United News of India in 1967 as its bureau chief in Srinagar. He was closely associated with various senior political leaders of Kashmir and worked with some of them, including Sheikh Saab, Bakshi Ghulam Muhammad, G.M. Sadiq, D.P. Dhar, and Dr. Farooq Abdullah, with whom he served as Director General of Information. Friends, Shri Sati Sahni will be remembered for many of his attributes, and let me highlight 3 of them, which I like the most, and I had an occasion to be closely associated with him. I saw him working, I saw him laughing, I saw him talking. Firstly, and on a personal note, I was fond of him because he combined all qualities that a perfect gentleman of my generation could possess. He had an exquisite sense of dressing, he was punctual, and he led a frugal yet fulfilling and contented life. उसने कभी मकान ही नहीं कोई लिया जम्मू कश्मीर में. He always lived in a rented house. अगर उसके बेटे को भी ठीक कह रहा हूँ मैं. So he never owned a house in Jammu and Kashmir. So that is the frugality of the man. He spoke softly, but eloquently, and showed his disagreement respectfully, without mincing words. It was a great learning to be in his company, ladies and gentlemen. Secondly, he was a true Karma Yogi who showed how much and how varied interests a person can have in one lifetime. He was a journalist, he was a political activist, he was a war correspondent, he was a photojournalist, author, organization builder, and a government spokesperson at the highest level. Mere volume and spectrum of his contribution is formidable and difficult to emulate. And thirdly, Sati Sahni's journalism depicted credibility, laced with expertise, art of influencing opinion he had, and boldness to act as a selfless watchdog with responsibility to the people, to the citizens alone. The most outstanding attribute that he possessed was the courage to speak the truth in peace and in times of conflict. That is the beauty that you see in peace everyone can speak truth. When there is conflict, then you are in conflict, so you have to decide how you handle the situation. Friends, truth cannot be buried permanently, and Sati Sahni knew this. It dodges and deserts forces of falsehood. I am conscious that this utopian attribute is not easy to cultivate and practice for journalists of the present age. ये पीछे बैठी है ना, जरा हाँ वो बैठी. It is not easy for you to emulate, but these qualities must act as a guiding light if media has to fulfill its assigned role as the fourth pillar of democracy to transform our great country into an Atmanirbhar and Viksit Bharat. We shall hear more about that from our keynote speaker, Professor Shahid Rasool. This memorial lecture, ladies and gentlemen, is not only a tribute to the life and times of Shri Satpal Sahni, this is also a reminder of the qualities that a good journalist should possess, howsoever difficult the environment may appear. I pay my humble tributes to this friend, colleague, and a trendsetter in the world of journalism and public service. Thank you very much. God bless you all.